Hi guys, I'm cooking dinner at the moment, so I'm gonna have to try to do the vlog and cook at the same time because I'm hungry, but I also have to be productive. But Matt and Dan, you guys made a great post talking about the globalization of student affairs. This is something that truly is growing and truly is now developing to something more more invested that institutions are looking to do to globalize their institutions. Um, Definitely, I can see universities using this more so. I know my experiences at USF as a tour guide. One of our three talking points that we would speak about to our prospective students and families was our diverse institution. We would pride ourselves in the fact that we were the ninth largest, and we are the ninth largest institution in the nation with over 130 countries represented on our campus. And having that diverse background, having that diverse student body allows for our students to build not only their social and cultural capital, but also their understanding of different cultures and interactions between those cultures. Um, and you asked the question. The first question you asked was, "How do you feel about the globalization of student affairs?" I think it's great. I think this is a great opportunity that we as check on my bread that we as student affairs professionals and that our students get an opportunity to really engage and interact with students from different cultures. That's the beauty of America. America is a place, is a melting pot. It's a blending of cultures. And the fact that students get a chance to interact with someone from India, from Australia, from Jamaica, from wherever they may be from, and not have to go and travel to that specific place on the map, but have that place on the map come to them and infuse the culture already here with their culture is an amazing thing. And so I think that we should continue to globalize our campus, but also we should continue to make our globalization accessible. Well, not really accessible. We should be able to make the experience of those students coming here welcoming as well. Because I think a lot of times that we, as Americans, I hate to say, we are arrogant, but we're also naive to the fact that we don't think that people don't know about us, or we're under the impression that people are unaware. People are aware of how we live, and it's not true. Even in our counseling class, Neil talks about all the time of how he, as an international student, came here and he's not really familiar with the culture of America and hasn't really been taught about that culture. And so I think that we have to create, maybe also continue to instill in students and transfer ideas and transfer knowledge in the sense that they can understand where our standpoint is, but we can also understand where their standpoint is. Um, and diversity on an institutional campus is has so many benefits. Brings money to the institution, I'll tell you that. That's one thing. But it just enhances the capital and the worth of your college campus. No one wants to really go to a campus where they see the same people every day. You're not learning because, as we all know, and while we're in this field, learning happens outside as well as inside of the classroom. And so, if you're not engaging with other interactions, building connections with other students, learning how to network and learning how to interact with students of different backgrounds and different cultures, which will help you in the real world after you matriculate through college and get your first job or wherever you may have you. Once you have an understanding of that culture or have an interaction with that culture that can help you in the future, then you can see the benefit of it, and I think that's where colleges are leading towards. Your second question was, how do you adopt the evolution? How do you teach students to adopt to this culture? And also, how do you teach faculty and continue to have your faculty and peers adopt this culture to the evolution of globalization? That's hard because student affairs is always changing, it's always developing, it's consistently changing to my bad. It's consistently changing to different facets that we as professionals have to remain, diligent and also cognizant of the constant needs. Just like our student population is changing in the demographics, there are more non-traditional students coming to school now, more so than there were traditional students. And so we have to learn to accommodate those students with more online courses, with different time schedules, or offering different classes in general to accommodate those non-traditional students, but also other accommodations such as different extracurricular activities that those students may not even look for. So it's just an array of stuff that we have to continue to adopt and to adapt, not adopt, but to adapt to. Um, And it was something you said, Matt. You said react, and I would rather use respond because I'd rather for us respond than react because react gives or react to the globalization, and I would rather respond because reacting to something shows that you're not prepared. It kind of shows that it caught you off guard. But when you responding kind of denotes preparation, denotes um, a plan. It denotes that but you were prepared, and that kind of I would prefer to use that term instead of react because reactionary approaches are never beneficial, especially in our field of higher ed. Um, but I do understand what you're saying. Requirement for study abroad. Now, my thing is, you can't require me to do anything that is not accessible. Now, if you want to require me to go out of the country, you have to think about your student population. How many students do you serve from low-income families, from first-generation homes? Not to say that those students at all have financial obligations that would prevent them from going um, from study abroad trips. Not at all, because students with money can say, well, I don't have the time to because my family does this during the summer or does this during there are certain obligations that you're conflicting with now because now there's a mandatory, duh, I have to go to school. That's understandable, but that's during a certain term for a certain length of time. Study abroad is the same as well. However, this time you're in a different place, you're in a different time, you're in a whole different location. And so having that being said, I really don't think that you can mandate something like study abroad to students unless you make it accessible to them financially, but also make it accessible to them that they have prior knowledge and so that they can plan for that. With that being said, I know Stanford over the summer they require their students to do a cultural trip, but that's something that they know prior to coming to the institution. So that's something that the students know during orientation. That's reiterated throughout their collegiate time at Stanford, and it's integrated throughout their curriculum. And so I think if institutions were to do that, then that will be effective, but also provide the necessary resources to those students to be able to go on those study abroad trips. Because we all know, as you said, Matt, they cost a lot of money, especially just for the plane ticket alone. Um, so that's my post. See you guys in class. My dinner's about to be the bomb.com though. So holler.